Have you ever wondered what it would be like to live in your favorite video game? I mean, certainly we all have, right? I mean, as gamers, it's something that we at least think about from time to time. And especially with the likes of movies like Ready Player One and Free Guy, it's hard to not at least imagine a world in which we didn't live inside of a video game. And at first glance, that sounds super cool, right? How awesome would it be to be a video game protagonist, protected by an invulnerable set of plot armor, living in a world where you are ultra powerful, easily the coolest, best looking dude in the land, able to drop dragons with a single swing of your greatsword, or persuade kings with your honeyed words? And that sounds great, and maybe if we thought about it for like 2 seconds, that's what we would imagine living in a video game is really like. But think about it for like 5 more seconds after that, and I think we would start to realize that living in a video game would actually really suck. It's not all puppy dogs and rainbows out in video game land, and we should all know that, right? As gamers, we know that game landscapes are usually not super nice to the player. They're not exactly warm and inviting. And really, it just seems like it would be a really stressful place to live inside a video game. So today, we're actually gonna talk about 7 of the reasons why it would actually be terrible to live inside of a video game. Now, if you enjoyed this video, videos like this, or just video gaming content in general, make sure to hit that like button. I would really appreciate it, and your engagement helps out the YouTube algorithm. Additionally, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, and to leave a comment down below on what you think would be the worst part of living in a video game. If you don't have anything to say, just comment your favorite emoji. Again, your engagement is a huge help. All right, so let's get on with it. 7 reasons why it would actually be terrible to live inside of a video game. Let's start off with something simple for your first video game experience that you're going to, well, experience. Have you ever thought about what your main mechanism of travel is in a video game? I mean, like really across all video games? Yeah, you heard that right, foot travel. Sure, you may get like flying cars, super cool mounts along the way, but those are definitely for higher level characters, not a level 1 nothing in particular like you are. So when you start your life in your video game, you are no doubt going to be relegated to walking everywhere. But here's the thing, that's not entry number 1. Entry number 1 is running everywhere. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm into fitness. I can run, 4 or 5 miles at a time, and it's not that bad, but I don't love doing it. And I certainly wouldn't want to do it every moment of basically the rest of my life. Now, you may be thinking and going down to the comments to say, but Chad, we don't have to run everywhere. We can walk places. I want you to think about that for like 2 seconds and then think back to the last video game that put you in a place where they forced you to walk. Like if you hit the run or sprint button, nothing happened. You were forced to walk somewhere. Now, I want you to think about that time and tell me those weren't like the worst 3 minutes of your entire life. I guarantee you were spamming the sprint button the entire time, and your protagonist was sitting there finally getting some peace, thinking, thank God I finally get a break. This guy has me running everywhere. Yes, we know that video game protagonists don't have the luxury of getting to walk. And damn it, when developers put in that stamina bar that don't let us run everywhere, that's like our worst nightmare whenever that stamina bar empties. So you know darn well that you're making your protagonist run everywhere, and so you know whatever mastermind is behind the scenes of this video game you're now in, you know that you're gonna be running for basically the rest of your life. So I want you to think about that before you go hopping into any video games. Are you prepared for that level of cardio? I'm certainly not. All right, for entry number 2, let's talk about something that's gonna dampen the mood a little bit, and that's gonna be basically everyone wants to kill you mostly all the time. I mean, think about really any RPG you ever gone in, like, there's not a ton of people that are like, yeah, let's be best buds. In fact, usually in the games where you can, make friends with people, there's like, 10 people in the entire game you can become friends with. Everyone else either is gonna say something insulting to you, or downright just wants to attack and kill you. At the beginning of your experience in this game, that's gonna put a lot of stress on you. You're gonna be a little level 1 protagonist, and it's going to be a challenge to have to fight out all of these waves of people that want you dead for no reason other than just like, that's like what they do, right? But then like, fast forward, you're big, you're strong, you've beaten your main quest line, you're the strong, everybody knows you, your renown is at 100, your name is renowned throughout the land. And yet, even if you're like this level 100 badass, there's still gonna be those level 5 bandits that are like, let's get him! Even though we all know they have no chance, like they can't even get through your shield probably. And that's just gotta take a toll on your mental health, right? Like the number of people trying to kill you and the number of people that you're having to kill. Like think about about how you're gonna sleep at night knowing just like the scores of people that you have slaughtered, the number of people that no longer have spouses, kids that don't have parents, siblings that don't have, well, their other siblings? Yeah, how are you going to sleep at night with all of those bodies on your mind? So before you go jumping into your video game, just think, are you ready for that level of animosity focused at you? Are you ready to be truly that unpopular? I mean, I already am, but so I guess yes, right? Now for entry number 3, this is something that has really taken to the stage in modern video games that you know is going to be a part of the video game that you go and decide to be a part of. Now let's go back to entry number 1, as you don't want to have to run, or better yet, sprint everywhere for the rest of your life. And there is going to be a mechanism that a low level, nothing in particular like you can do to travel. You'll have really 2 options. You can run to point B, which may take you like, what, 2 real life days? Or for the low price of just $4.99, you can pay the carriage driver to take you to your destination. That's right. We have entered the land of microtransactions, and I hope that you're prepared for that to be a part of your everyday life that's basically mandatory. I mean, sure, you could be free to play, but you're free to play in games right now because you have a life outside of video games. When you go into your video game, can you imagine the level of frustration that you feel in games where you're behind other players or behind, the 8 ball because you're free to play? Can you imagine being that far behind in real life because you're free to play? Yeah, man, suppose you're going into a Pokemon game. You know that it's no longer gonna be the case that you can just heal all your Pokemon. You know that your Pokemon game is your Pokemon are gonna heal their health over time, or you can go give them 5 gems to heal one Pokemon 10 health. You know that that really cool sword at the blacksmith's is gonna be just a little bit too much and you're not gonna be able to afford it with your normal money, but if you buy the premium currency, you can get it for just 2 of those. Yeah, microtransactions are already the bane of our gaming lives. Do we really wanna make that a part of our everyday lives? The inability to get ahead in your career, the inability to almost sometimes just survive probably because you're not willing to shell out that extra money. So yeah, if you thought that microtransactions were hurting you right now, just wait until you're in a video game. Now for entry number 4, whenever we go to play an MMO, we always think it's going to be something like this, right? When in actuality, we all know it ends up a little more like this. Yeah, we all know that a major risk of playing basically any sort of game that is online is that you are potentially going to be griefed by other players. Now, I mean, to be fair, we have our own level of that in real life now. I mean, have you been to Reddit or the comment section of a YouTube video or an online forum or a Walmart? I mean, yeah, there is a level of griefing like in our everyday lives, but imagine like that level of griefing where it ends with you like actually dying, but then you respawn, like you have actually experienced death, like you've had this out-of-body experience, and then you come back only to die again probably. And this other player probably knows where you're gonna respawn, and they kill you again. And this is your life now. You can't log out of the game. Maybe there's like a server switching. I don't know what video game world you're in. Maybe you can call up a friend to come join your server and save you. I don't know what that's gonna look like, but I just want you to imagine the level of grief in the YouTube comment section and amplify that by like 1 billion. And that's what your life is about to be with the level of griefing that I'm sure you're going to incur in your video game life. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that's not the part whenever the robot overlords take over and consume our minds and we do enter a virtual reality state. But I'm sorry to tell you, I've played far too many online video games to have hopes for anything else. For entry number 5, I've got to say, I'm not a super extroverted person. There's a reason that I don't stream a ton on this channel, and that's because it takes a lot of energy out of me to be social. And I'm sure that some of you feel that way too, like being social is hard, especially if you are an introverted person. But even still, introverted people still like to have conversations. We still like to talk to people and stuff like that. Have you tried to have a conversation with someone in a video game lately? Hey, what's up, Sassy? What are you up to this weekend?
Well, my cousin's out fighting dragons, and what do I get? Guard duty.
Oh, well, interesting. Well, that sucks. How'd you end up getting that?
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow to the knee.
Are you Are you just talking to me in NPC dialogue?
Hey, listen.
Listen to what?
My cousin's out fighting dragons. And what do I get? Guard duty.
Why are you the way that you are, Sassy?
Because war never changes.
Yeah, hopefully by the time that our minds are absorbed into video games, developers have started, I don't know, programming more than like 40 or 50 lines of dialogue, but let me tell you something, it's what I'm preparing for, and that is going to be everyone's just a terrible conversationalist. And like at the beginning, that might end up being okay. Like until I've cycled through all of their dialogue, I might not seem to notice. But this is my life now. And just hearing the same lines of dialogue over and over, noticing that those people don't really care about what I have to say, and that my feelings are now basically disregarded. Imagine marrying someone and your spouse like has 5 lines of dialogue that they're gonna say to you for the rest of your marriage. Talk about a marriage getting stale pretty quick. So regardless of how antisocial you think you are, I guarantee that at some point that's gonna start to really get on your nerves. All right, so I'm going to level with you. Sometimes I get really stressed out at work. And I mean, we all do, right? That's the reality we live with. If you're in middle or high school, you're dealing with bullies, you're dealing with classes, you're dealing with extracurriculars. That's a lot of weight on your mind. If you're in college, you've got final exams. You've got, once again, extracurriculars. You've got your off-campus job. And if you're a grown-ass adult, then you've got, I don't know, that stupid adult stuff like cooking and trying to maintain a healthy weight because you can't do that anymore because your metabolism sucks. On top of that, maybe you like or don't like your boss, but they're asking you to do things you don't want to do. Or maybe you are a boss and your people don't want to listen to you anymore. Yeah, we have a lot of mental strain that is put on us throughout our entire life, but nothing quite like when we're in a video game for entry number 6, and that's basically the world is always ending. And not only is the world always ending, but the world is always ending and you have to be the one to save it. I'm not sure what your current job or what your current level of stress is right now, but I think the world ending and it being your sole responsibility to fix it is a lot more stress. Like, think about the weight of that implication that the lives of every single NPC in this game is solely resting on your shoulders. And everyone is expecting you to do these great things. I mean, hell, right now, all that anything's expected of me is to show up to work and I guess not suck. But now I have to like actually do important things like slaying dragons that eat worlds, stopping people from dropping nukes. It's what I imagine living in the Cold War era feels like, but like we actually know that if we don't do something, the world will actually end. I'm sorry, my mental health is not prepared for that level of stress of just like the world constantly ending and everyone looking up to me. I'm sorry, this is making me regret my choice to go live in a video game. All right, for entry number 7, I know that at least a couple of you are thinking, but hey, those aren't my types of games. I don't play MMOs, I don't play shooters, I don't play RPGs. I like to play relaxing games. And so for entry number 7, another reason you wouldn't want to go live in a video game is because basically you're just gonna do what you normally do in real life. Like, congratulations, you're in the Stardew Valley world. You get to go be a farmer if you're not already in real life. Are you excited for that? Like, are you prepared to play Farming Simulator, Truck Driver Simulator for basically the rest of your life? Like, we all do that right now, and that's why we have video games, is to escape that reality that we're not enjoying living in right now. And here's the thing, when you're living inside a video game, I mean, unless you're in like Pokemon where like they have the console of the generation in your room, I don't know that they have video games in video games. I don't know what video gameception is going to look like, but I'm assuming that like you don't have an escape anymore. Like, you're gonna do what you're doing in real life, and like, that's all you're gonna do. This is already making me a little depressed just thinking about literally only doing work, living in Office Simulator for the rest of my life with no video games and nothing to do but work and sleep. Guys, I don't want to live in a video game anymore. All right, so that's gonna wrap it up. Those are 7 reasons why I think it would be terrible to live in a video game. What are your thoughts? Do you have any reasons why it would suck to live in a video game? Let me know down in the comments below. If you don't have any reasons, just drop your favorite emoji down there. Once again, your engagement really helps out the channel. While you're at it, hit the like button, subscribe, notification bell so you get notifications for new videos and live streams. And that's all I've got for you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next video.